back. Today we're going to be working on my wife's 2004 Honda Accord. We're going to do a brake job on it. I replaced the brakes about 2 years ago with some Bear brakes, and I believe it was Stop Tech rotors. They did an excellent job, pretty aggressive and dusty, but they're kind of getting towards the end of their life. They're not quite there yet, but the main thing is the master cylinder in the car, I believe, is faulty because you can press on the brake pedal and it'll slowly work its way down to the floor. So we picked up some centric rotors for the rear. Same thing for the front. Akibono pads, front and back. I've heard great things about these from the Volvo guys, and they were available for my wife's car. So we went ahead and got those. We're gonna see how they work, compare them to the Bears. And then a new master cylinder, because last time we put one in, it was remanufactured, and I kind of got the same result as I did prior to the installation, which was that symptom of the brake pedal going all the way to the floor eventually, especially if you're at a stop sign where you're holding it for a little while. So anyway, like I said, master cylinder, rotors, and pads, and we're gonna drain the fluid and put new fluid. So we have to bleed the brakes, which should be a blast. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. And I think we're gonna do it the same style as the last video with the racing seat, where we're just gonna just shoot what I'm doing. I'll throw in the tool sizes, kind of, if there's a tip or a trick during the way, I'll just do a little subtitle and kind of cut to the chase and fast forward it. That way you guys can get through the video pretty quick and you can see exactly what you want to see. Sometimes you don't have to always look through the whole video to do the job. Brakes is pretty self-explanatory if you're handy, but sometimes there's some quirks for different vehicles. So we'll see if we encounter any of those. I did a brake job once in this car a couple of years ago, so I'm gonna have to refamiliarize myself with it as well. But anyway, we're gonna get to it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Monday. The job went a little bit longer than anticipated. But what we're gonna work on now is I wanna show you where we're at, a little update. So rather than just getting the caliper bracket for the passenger side rear, it actually cost $20 more just to get the whole brand new unit. So I just went ahead and did that. So we got this all installed, nice and free. Everything looks good. And then same thing with the driver. I think I was telling you guys we're gonna decide to go with a new caliper. And I also mounted a new line. The line was pretty easy. We used a flare wrench to break the hose here with no problems. Didn't strip, didn't round, it was perfect. The only pain was just getting this clip out, but I worked it out with a flat blade screwdriver and a little baby pry bar. And yeah, so that's looking good. Now, I went ahead and mocked up the new master cylinder, but after doing a little bit more research, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to pop this off, and we're gonna have to do something called bench bleeding it. So I'm gonna go inside I'm gonna pop this off, I'm gonna go inside the garage, and I'll kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. So when you're bench bleeding, you're gonna need a couple of things to do this properly. This is a very important step. I'm actually redoing this, pulling the master cylinder back out, because I have a no pedal condition where all four corners are bled, perfect, crystal clear fluid, no bubbles, still no breaks. So I'm gonna pull the master cylinder back out and we're gonna redo this. But anyway, you're gonna need these barbed fittings. These are 1/4 inch NPTM by AGS Automotive Solutions. We have a little Teflon tape on it. And then from Home Depot, we have some Everbuilt. And this is gonna be 3/8 inch inside diameter. And it's a really nice snug fit. So you're gonna thread these onto the ports, and then the hose is gonna go back into the top, which I'll show you a little bit later. And then also too, I just grabbed these little corks, number 4 tapered cork. This is to cork the master cylinder when you remove it from the car. And then also after you're done bench bleeding, you can put them back in. Okay, so this is how you guys wanna bench bleed. Our 2 connectors are going back in just to recirculate the fluid. The reservoir, I just have to top it off a little bit more, but you put your brake fluid in there, clean fluid, and then I just have a piece of cardboard with some paper towel to catch anything that might spill once I unscrew this. And something good to clean up brake fluid is denatured alcohol. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to depress this rod. I think what I may use is this mallet, a little bit more controlled, because you want to go really nice and slow and just take your time with this. I think I'm going to bleed it. When it looks good, I'm just going to let it sit for a while. 5 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna repeat the process just to make sure that this thing's 100%. Like I said, I installed this the first time and I ended up completely vacuum locking this rod in, and it just wouldn't come out, and so I was getting a no brake pedal condition. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. In just dry fit. So what we're gonna use is just a regular 3/8 socket. I have an extension with a swivel head, and I also have a 12mm deep socket. I'm probably going to end up putting a little piece of tape in here to hold the 12mm nut in place, because you can't get your hand in there and also get the socket in there. It's also good to have an extendable magnet, and then one of these little claws in case you drop anything, because there's a high likelihood that these guys are going to drop. It's kind of a pain, but you got to just take your time with it. And then once those are tightened down, you're going to go ahead and you're going to tighten up the flare nuts. You can do that with a regular wrench, but I think for the last 1/4 turn, you can't tighten them too much. Just get them snug and then give it a nice 1/4 turn, but make sure you use your flare wrenches on that so you don't strip those out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tighten up the master cylinder, and then we'll get the bleeding. Okay, so I just got back from a test drive. Went well. I was looking it up. The brakes are a little bit spongy on the Honda, especially the Accord. I shouldn't say spongy, but it's just a very sensitive pedal. So I locked the brakes up a couple times in an open area where there's no other cars or pedestrians walking, and it helped the brakes out a little bit, but they feel really good. No leaks. Pretty challenging and frustrating. So when you guys are doing this, don't give up. You just have to be very meticulous, make sure you're very clean. And, you know, once you're done with the whole system, make sure you go around the whole car and give it a nice shot of brake cleaner and dry everything up. Because once the vehicle's on and you go to test it, you'll be able to identify leaks that way instead of just guessing. So, yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. Just one last thing. There's a lot of videos on these Motive power bleeders. This made my life 1,000 times easier than using one of those hand pumps. I tried the hand pump because the whole system was opened up and there's a lot of air in it. It was just taking too long, and I couldn't really be too confident about the results I was getting from it. So I threw this on there, and it worked great. Like I said, a lot of videos on that, on the use and how to clean it. Just make sure you got a denatured alcohol and brake cleaner with you when you're doing this job. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to, subscribe. I appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.